so gathered seams. This time, we're definitely sewing a longer piece, a shorter one, but significantly longer, different from the eased length. Page 54. Use small running stitches to gather a large full section into a smaller one. This technique is similar to ease basting, but the extra fabric length is much fuller, and it's not shrunk out with the iron, so we're not going to shrink it. And it has a softly gathered decorative effect. Use this seam to join gathered edges to waistbands, cuffs, yokes, all kinds of stuff. Step 1, use a long needle and a strong thread, like glazed cotton. Anchor the thread and begin the first row of gathering stitches on or just inside the seam line of the longest layer. So I'll move this guy. Okay. Pick up 5 or 6 small stitches on the needle before pulling it through the fabric. Continue until the entire section is gathered. At the end of the gathering, leave a long thread tail so that we can pull it. That's step 2. Okay, so this time they weren't really picky about doing 20 stitches in 1 inch. They didn't really say that, so not sure if that matters. Let's do another knot to make sure this guy's nice and big. So I knotted my guy. Okay. Remind me with the running stitches.
Is it different than the basting stitch?
Is it still even? Do you remember?
I don't.
Yeah, I should probably look that up, huh? Okay, let's see. It's nice but having a long stitch, or long needle. Okay, got all my stitches in there. For fun, let's look up running stitch. There we go. The running stitch, they're short and they're even. So yeah, that was pretty much just like the base. Yeah, yeah. Cool. Even says not, yeah. There you go. So shorter, but that last basting stitch, they want us to do 20 in 1 inch, right?
Which is interesting.
But I guess basting also just means temporary, like you know you're gonna take it out, so it's not a perfect word, I guess. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. This guy has a knot, right? Where's my knot? There it is. Okay, so there's a knot. Leave a nice long tail so it's easy to pull later. Okay, step 3, so 2 more gathering rows. This time an 1/8 inch above. The other one was a 1/4 inch. I wonder if that makes a difference, like having it closer versus further, like further apart was better for easing. Above and below the first line. Pin the end of each row to a weight, such as a tailor's ham, and pull up all the rows. Okay, well let's put in 2 more, I guess. My question is this gonna look different than the way we did this on the sewing machine, like in beginning sewing? You know? Oh, I'm gonna measure. Why don't I just put in a 1/4? So that's 2 boxes. Okay. Got my knot. All right, so same thing. Short little even stitches. Okay, I'll leave a long little tail. And do this one more time. you guys look at the needles, you'll notice the length is different. So you can do longer ones or shorter ones. I think shorter would work. It's just you can get the job done quicker if you have a long needle. You don't have to pull it through as much. Great. Okay. Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay, so now they want us to pin this to a ham and pull up all the rows as tightly as possible. Fasten the threads and making a figure 8 around a pin at the end of the center row. Okay, cool. So let me go get a ham. So again, just 3 rows of basting. Okay, and where's my pin? Here's my pin. And maybe I'll just stick my pin in. So my pin's just kind of there. I'm going to pull the threads and wrap it around the pin so it stays. I should probably keep this guy handy. Just so I know like how long to pin it, or how long to pull it, gather it. Okay. So they want me to pull all 3, right? Now remember, yeah, we don't have to worry about the bobbin thread. I guess when we do this in beginning sewing, there's the top thread and the bottom one, and this one's just by itself. That's good. Cool. Pulling it so it's the same length. That looks good. So I'm going to take all the threads and wrap it around this pin. Kind of hold it in place. Okay, I did like 888. Cool. Is that right? It's still the right length? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Number 7. Adjust the gathered section to the desired length. That's what I just did. Number 8. Did I miss it? Actually, maybe I did skip something. Hold on. Yeah, number 5. I skipped 5. Hold the top of the gathered section in one hand and use the other to pull the bottom sharply to the ridges. Tops of the gathered folds are parallel to one another. So right now it's all kind of sloppy. I could definitely try to even it out a little bit. But what they're doing, they're holding the top, they're pulling it. So that way, like, my gathered lines aren't like at a diagonal. They're all just like parallel to each other. Okay, 6, remove the pin holding the gathered threads, loosen the threads, use a tapestry needle to stroke the gathers so they lie evenly side by side. Okay, I don't know if I have tapestries like those thick ones. We're just trying to get you to take some time to really think about how this looks, like the gathers look, and that they're parallel and even. Okay. So, okay. Number 8, when sewing a seam at the waistband, arm's eye, cuff, or yoke, fold under the seam allowance of the ungathered edge. Okay. So I have my thread tracing on the sew line. Number 9, right sides up and the ungathered edge on top. Align the seam lines, matching your points, pin, top base the sections together for a fitting. Okay, so this will take you out. This guy together. Like I can stay there. You know, it's gonna fit because it's just a sample. Then they want us to trim the seam allowance to 1/2 inch, press first the band and then the gathered section, working carefully to press between the ridges to avoid setting creases. So, oh, actually here, I missed number 10. After fitting, machine stitch or slip stitch the seam line permanently. Well, since we have the thread here, I guess we can do a slip stitch. Okay, cool. So I'm just grabbing the gathered fabric and then I'm going to slip it through the folded seam of the non-gathered. I can actually move that out of the way. Slip that through. There it goes. This is when it's nice if you have a nice sharp needle. Makes it a little easier. Okay. Oh no, I lost it. Do you have that thread? Oh, the green one, the needle threader. Yes, thank you. No, I'm just going to keep using the same one. It just came out. Okay, back in business. Alrighty. Great. And then underneath I'll do a little knot. I'll stitch and I'll put my needle through the loop. I like to do that once more. Cool. Okay, so I can cut that guy off. Okay. Let's see. Trim the seam allowance to 1/2 inch. Press first the band, then the gathered section. Okay, so this guy actually I think is a seam, is 1/2 inch already. Let's see. Yeah, and then I guess both. They want both 1/2 inch. Okay, so this one's not. Like that. Just trimming it to 1/2 inch. So I can press the band. I'll take to the iron and press that. But then when I press this guy, I don't know if they care about which way it is. I'm gonna do up. We want to press so like the iron's going this way, like up and down. We don't want to press and flatten like a fold. we want to like pretend like it's not folded. Like we're just gonna iron the fabric and the iron's gonna just kind of bend. It's not gonna be like a pleat where you iron it. So that's the challenge. So you don't want to iron it this way. If this is our iron, you really want the iron to come in this way and try to work itself through the folds instead of turn it into a pleat. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, oh, and then they have a little fancy way to finish the seam. So let's go give it an iron real quick.
¿Sí le han entendido?
Okay, to make a buttressed seam, turn the seam allowances towards the gathered seam. Did they tell us to take out our basting stitch yet? Do you guys think I should just be proactive and take it out?
You're
No.
not adjusting the gathers.
Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm gonna take it out. Maybe I
Maybe
missed
just
it.
to hold the ridges in place.
Maybe.
It might be.
We can experiment. Maybe you leave yours in and see if it's different. Okay. Yeah, it probably is, because actually that's true. That's a good thought. Let's see here. Turn the seam allowances towards the gathered seam. Okay. Working carefully to press between the ridges to avoid, did I miss something? Trim the seam allowances to 1/2 inch. I did that. And press first the band. I did that. Working carefully to press between the ridges. Oh, I did that. Okay, they just want me to press the seam allowance one more time. This time, again, working through all of this, trying not to make a fold. And then they say go ahead and overcast the seam. So I could run this through the serger, or if you wanted to hand overcast, either way. But we're basically done. So they just want me to iron the seam allowance this way. And when I iron it, just be careful. So that's really it. It's not a huge gather. If you guys want to do, like, I know I think I had you guys do 5 and 8 inches. That's 3 inches to really play with. This guy was only like maybe 2 inches to play with. It wasn't as much. So, but that's basically it. All right. So I guess I can overcast it to be done.